Excuse me. Hello everyone. Okay, this particular video, let me just slide this over here, um, is on being able to graph linear inequalities. So as you notice, there are not a lot of slides, so let's go ahead and begin. Now, basically what you have here, we'll just show you all of these. And there you go. So an inequality is a statement that one quantity is greater than or less than another quality. Okay, so to graph inequalities, you begin by solving for y. When solving, you can add and subtract the same value from both sides just as you would with an equation. So here, if you wanted to get y by itself, and let me show you that. Sorry about that, didn't have my board on. Okay, so looking at this, if we wanted to get y by itself here, and we're just gonna, sorry about the color, let's do a different one because that's a little hard to see. Okay, so if you add 2x to both sides, just like you would if it were an equation, you would have y is greater than 2x plus 6, just like what you would normally do. All right, and let's go to the next slide. Okay, now here's what you have to remember. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must reverse or flip the inequality. Okay, so what about when we multiply or divide by a negative number? So let me show you that one. Okay, and this should be a refresher because again you did all this in Algebra 1. So notice I want y by itself, so I'm going to divide through by a negative 2. Now decide at what point you're going to reverse the inequality. I normally do it in the very next step after I've done the, where I need to do it. So that's just me. Pick out a system, whatever works for you. So this is going to be y, and then I immediately change mine. So it becomes less than or equal to, and this becomes negative 2x minus 1. Again, only happens when you multiply or divide by a negative number. If you're just adding or subtracting a negative, you don't change the inequality. So please make sure you remember that. Okay, and so then the next slide. Okay, now when you're graphing an inequality, you want to shade the region of the graph that represents the solution or that answer. So what you want to do is you want to graph this, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you by hand for those of you who don't have a graphing calculator, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on both of your calculators, so that way it'll be really easy. So you notice it's in slope-intercept form, so this is y equals mx plus b. So what we have here is we're going to start with b, so that's a negative 1. So I'm going to put a point here, and then my slope is 2 over 1, m is slope. So I'm going to go up 2 and then to the right 1. Now, you also have to pay attention to whether the inequality is equal to or not equal to. This one is equal to. So keep in mind if you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's a solid line. And if you have just less than, sorry, or greater than, it's a dashed line. Okay, so now this has an equal, so it makes it a solid line. So then I'm just going to do that there. And then it says less than, which means I'm going to shade below the line. I always like to put mine in y equals format because that makes it easier to tell the shading. As a student, I always had trouble the other way. And then here you go. If you just do this, guys, I can tell it's shaded. You don't have to fill it in. I know some of you will do the whole box thing and fill it in. That's totally up to you. I just don't like to waste my lead that way, so I won't do that. But you are welcome to do that. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you, I'm going to pause for a minute so I can get the calculators ready, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on both a Casio and a TI. So hold on just a moment. Okay, so guys, we're going to put the equation in here, and it's y is less than or equal to 2x minus 1. What you see on the screen currently is you see, whoops, sorry, you see on a TI. So we're going to put it in, and we're going to do 2x minus 1. So 2 and then x minus 1. Guys, you're looking at the 84 plus C, which is the color grapher. I just put it in because I like it because it looks really pretty. But now, if you remember on the TI, you need to go back in front of the y. So I'm just going to use the arrow, and as you see, whoops, go up. There we go. As you see, you're seeing the keystrokes here. So there you go. All you got to do is plug in what I'm plugging in. And then you're just going to hit enter until you get to, let's see, this one's less than, so I need the triangle on the bottom. So as you see, Now, on the older TIs, this pop-up doesn't go. You just watch here. But for the newer one, it's right there, so you're going to see it. Okay. So I'm going to, whoops, let's go back up. Sorry. I haven't used this one that much. So notice how it's changing. For those of you on the older TIs, you just have enter because you don't have the pop-up box. And then you see how it's changing. Okay, so there is less than. So now for the newer one, because I do have somebody with the newer one, and I'm going to put enter and see, there you go. So it's going to shade for you. That's the difference between a TI and a Casio. You have to tell it to shade. It doesn't do it automatically. Okay, and the other thing you should notice, it doesn't do the line. So, oh well. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Whoops. Okay, and there you go. Sorry, I know I'm clicking a lot. There you go. Okay, now we're going to tell it to graph. And there you go. And I'm going to put it on the large screen so you can see as it's doing it. And that's what it's supposed to look like. Again, very simple to put in. If you're on a TI, here's the equation, here's the square. If the triangle's at the top, it's greater than. If it's at the bottom, it's less than. Here's my window. I just did a standard window. And then here's where you see the graph, okay? Just so you make sure that you see exactly what I need you to see. Now, I'm going to pull up the Casio. We're going to do the same thing. For Casio, you're going to go to the graph menu. I have to admit it is easier to use. So we're going to hit 3. And then, sorry, let's just take those out. And down. And take that out. Whoops. And down. Okay. So now I went to the graph menu. I'm going to record so you guys can see your script here. So what you're going to do, we're going to do the same equation. Now, on the Casio, notice it says y equals at the top. You're going to change the type. So there's the word type, so I'm going to hit F3. These are your choices. Notice you have an x equals. But I'm going to hit F6 because that arrow says there's other stuff behind it. I need y is less than or equal to. So see, you have y is greater than, y is less than, y is greater than or equal to, y is less than or equal to. So I'm going to hit F4. That should pop it up on top of the screen. You must change it before you enter the equation because it will only do the stuff after that. It won't do it before. Okay, and now let's just put in 2x minus 1. So 2x minus 1, execute, and now I'm going to tell it to draw. And bam, there you go. The nice thing you notice on the Casio is if you look here, you see that it's a solid line. If you had chosen one that didn't have the equal, this would be a dashed line. So that's always your hint, so you'll know. Okay? And so there you go. So I just redrew it. But that's what you're looking for. That's what we have to be able to do here. Now let's go back to our lessons, and let's go on to the next one. Now here, dotted lines are used for less than or greater than. I already told you this. Why? Because that means that line is not included. Solid lines are used for less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Why? Because the line is not included. Okay? So, which area is shaded when we have y is greater than? It's above. How did we check? You pick a point and see if it falls in. If it works in inequality, it should fall in the shaded region. Okay? Which area is shaded when we have y is less than? It's below. Okay? That's all you need to know. Okay? Now, here are 3 little trials that you can try out and see if they work. Okay? And I'm going to show you real quick because this is really easy to do by hand. Those of you on a graphing calculator, you can just plug these in. So that way you'll have it. But looking at this one, I'm going to use slope-intercept form. So there's that. 1, 2, 1. Notice this is a dashed line. Okay, and it's a greater than, so I'm going to shade above. This one, you're starting at 0, b is 0 because there's just 3x. I'm going to go up 3 and to the right 1. This is also a dashed line, but I'm going to do less than. Okay, let's make that point really big and that point. So then I'm shading over here. Again, I don't do all that, but if you want to shade the box, that's fine. And then this one is y is less than or equal to 4. Well, positive 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this is a solid line, horizontal line, because you have a 0 slope. And it's solid because it's equal to, and it's less than, so I'm going to shade below the line. Okay? That's how that works. So let's go to the next one. We're actually almost done. Here's a few more, same type of thing. So you just should try and graph those. Okay? And then on the last one, again, the same type. What makes these all different is you need to put it in slope-intercept form if you're going to use the graphing calculator. So let me show you how to do one of those. So here you have 3x plus y is greater than negative 1. Subtract 3x from both sides. So you're going to have y is greater than negative 3x minus 1. Now just graph. This one, 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 12. Subtract 3x from both sides. You're going to have 4y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 12. Divide through by 4. And I'm going to pull that up just a little bit. Okay. And you're going to end up with y is less than or equal to negative 3/4 x plus 3. Graph as you would. Now I'm not going to do this last one because you need to try it. Notice there's the negative, sorry about that, negative inequality, so negative number. So when you divide by that, make sure you reverse your inequality. Okay, guys, that's the end of this. So I will see you on the next one. Just make sure you do the homework that goes with it.